So good morning. This is gonna be my first video on this channel. I'm not gonna be one to sit there and continually edit and do things like that. But that being said, decided that I'm finally gonna listen to what I believe God is telling me to do, and that is to start doing some videos for people for encouragement and just basically my walk in hearing from God, because God does still speak today. And I think he wants a lot of people to know that and to understand that he speaks in a lot of different ways. So fast forward, my didn't grow up in the church, didn't even know God talked to you. I always believed that he wanted to, or that maybe he did to some people. I read it in the Bible here and there, but like I said, I didn't grow up in church. Um, but that being said, I did start going to a church that did teach that he does speak to people today, and kind of been going down that journey, and just realized that, that maybe this is what he wants me to do. He wants me to share and maybe just encourage some people out there. I'm not good on camera, so this is very hard for me, and I've probably been putting this off for quite some time. So anyways, that being said, the first time I ever heard God's voice, did I do believe he spoke to me. I just didn't realize it, but this was the first time I actually heard his voice. So I had been at work. I train horses for a living, and I had to go to the bank. Well, it was a Monday, and I'd kind of been feeling guilty about not going to church on Sunday. I did a pajama day, basically. I was tired, and I just didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to get dressed, so I decided to stay home. And like I said, Monday I was kind of feeling guilty, and I was like, well, it is what it is. So I had to go to the bank. I had, and I'm just going to tell you the amount. I had $50 that was my tithe. And as I was driving to the bank, I was just kind of sitting there. It had the radio off. And I just said out loud, I was like, well, God, this is your money. What do you want me to do with it? Immediately, and I mean immediately, I heard red. I'm like, red? What the heck is red? And I was just like, okay, whatever. So I kept driving. Literally probably 30, maybe 40 seconds later, I heard clearly red. And I'm like, red? What is red? And then right after that, I heard him say, there's going to be a black lady in a red shirt across from the bank at the bus stop. And I was like, that was pretty clear. I was kind of like shocked, actually. So I'm driving. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes for me to get to the bank and the drive-through. And I drive in, and there's 3 stations. So I pulled into one. Excuse me. Pulled into one. And I'm sitting there waiting on the, the thing get the thing out. I look up, and the bus stop is directly across from where the drive up windows are. And I'm looking, there's like 3 people there, not a single black lady. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I was like, all right. So I put my deposit in, and I sent it in. And as I'm sitting there, I'm just up, I'm watching straight ahead, and I'm looking at the bus stop. I'm like, yeah, there's no black lady. Well, as I'm watching, it's like the courthouse. I'm sitting there, and this black lady comes walking around the building, and I'm just like, my eyes are like 10 miles wide, and I'm looking. She's got a ball cap on, and I'm not even kidding, she has a red shirt on. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I started literally shaking, because I'm like, that's got to be her. I'm like, she comes up and she sits down at the bus stop. Now, mind you, I'm still waiting for my receipt, and I am just like, I'm flipping out at this point. I mean, I'm flipping out because I'm thinking, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And so I was like, okay, so I get my receipt. And the bus stop is on like a super busy road. And I'm thinking, and there's parking and it's always packed. I mean, especially this time of day. And I'm like, okay, I'm just like, I've got to give this lady this money. So again, like, mind you, I'm shaking. This is the first time something like this has happened to me. So I pull out, I'm looking both directions. It's like clear as a bell, no traffic. And there is one parking spot right in front of it. And I'm like, all right. So I pull in and I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, I got to get out. So I go walking around and I walk up to this lady. I go, ma'am, can I talk to you for a second? And she just kind of looks at me. I go, listen, I go, you're going to think I'm a nutcase, but I said, I have $50 and I believe God told me to give it to you. And she's like, are you serious? And I go, yeah, I'm serious. So she stands up and I'm sitting there, I'm talking to her and I was like, okay, here, I want to give it to you. I was like, hey, can I pray for you? You know, and this is the first time I've ever done something like this. So I start praying for her. Of course, we both bow our heads and shut my eyes. We shut our eyes and I'm praying. And finally, I kind of open my eyes. I go, hey, I'm sorry. I go, what is your name? And she goes, my name is Atharetta, but my friends call me Red. And I looked and she had a name tag on and it said Red. I mean, by this time I am losing it. So I prayed for her a little bit, a few more minutes, you know, hugged her, said thank you. And of course she was, you know, excited. And I left and got in my truck and I literally drove away and I started bawling. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it was so clear. I couldn't. And I was so excited. I mean, I called a couple of my friends. I was like, I just heard from God. This was just so amazing. And I told them the story. And actually, I got to share it at church too. So that just made it all the better. And it's just something that is, I've always remembered that. And there's times that I still hear from God that clearly. And there are times that I don't. And I'm going to share a couple other videos today. And so if you're interested, you can go ahead and keep watching. And I just hope that this helps somebody watching on your journey, on your journey to hear from the Lord. Thank you.